Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking and teaching you all about basic first aid and creating healthy habits. I'm sure everybody watching this video has been hurt at least one time in their life, whether it was from falling off the playground, accidentally running into each other while playing, touching something super hot, or maybe just tripping and falling. There are so many ways that you can get hurt, and that's why it's important that you all know how to help yourself so that when you do get hurt, you can make sure it gets better and not worse. First, I'm going to talk to you all about some things that we use to help each other when we do get hurt. There are so many different things that we can use to help each other, but these are some things that you should have at home already. Band-aids. We use band-aids to cover little scrapes and cuts so that none of the germs or anything else can get into the scrape or cut and make things worse. They also help us so that we don't accidentally rub the injury against anything, and we also use them to remind us not to touch the injury so that it can get better faster. Soap and water. Soap and water is probably the most important part of taking care of a scrape or cut. We wash the scrape and cut so that we can get rid of all the bad germs that can end up making the scrape or cut worse. We always want to make sure that everything is clean because bacteria can lead to many things worse than a scrape or cut. Sometimes cleaning the cut or scrape can sting or hurt, so it's best to just stay strong and take a deep breath. Antibiotic ointment. I'm sure you've all seen Neosporin, and that's what antibiotic ointment is. We use antibiotic ointment as another way to stop all the germs and bacteria from making our cuts or scrapes worse. It can also help make the pain feel a little better. More often than not, when we do fall and get a scrape or cut, we bleed. This can be super scary sometimes, but you've got to be brave and make sure that you stop the bleeding. Try to find a clean washcloth or clean paper towel so that you can put it over the injury and hold down. When you hold down on it, it might hurt, but you're helping stop the bleeding. Now you have to make your way to somewhere like a sink so you can get ready for the next step, which is to clean the cut or scrape. Cleaning the cut or scrape is very, very important because if we don't, the injury will probably get a lot worse. Get a clean washcloth or paper towel and wet part of it. Now you want to get some soap and put it on part of the washcloth that you just wetted. Rub the water and soap together on the washcloth and start to clean the injury inside and out. Cleaning might sting a lot, but make sure that you're cleaning it as best you can. Make sure you clean around the cut too in case there's any dirt or anything else that we don't want touching the injury. After you've cleaned it, use a dry and clean washcloth to gently pat everything dry. We don't want there to be any water for our next step. Our next step is putting on antibiotic ointment. Antibiotic ointment helps stop any bad germs or bacteria from getting inside our injury. It can help take away some of the pain, and it is important if we want to get better. When you put on the ointment, you don't need a whole lot. You just need enough to cover a thin layer of the injury. Make sure you cover the entire injury, and also make sure that you don't goop it on, otherwise our next step is going to be very difficult. Our last step is putting on the band-aid. There are a lot of different kinds of band-aids, but you can usually use any kind of them for any type of scrape or cut. Before you go to put the band-aid on, make sure that the cut or scrape is clean and that you have your antibiotic ointment on. Take your band-aid out of the package and think of the best way to put it on. Some spots on our bodies can be tricky, so make sure you get the band-aid on first try so that the stickiness of the band-aid doesn't go away. Make sure that the band-aid is on tight and that it won't fall off after you're done. After you've checked and made sure it's on right, you're done. It's important now to make sure that you swap the band-aid out and put a new one on every day until you know you don't need it anymore. There are a lot more ways that you can get hurt. Some happen more than others, so I chose to teach you about these. Burns, nosebleeds, and other pains or bruising can happen. It's important that you know how to handle these situations so that you don't panic when you get to them. Let me begin by saying that no children should ever be near or have to touch anything that is hot enough for them to burn themselves. Adults should always be the ones operating stoves and ovens or anything else that is extremely hot. Now, in case you do somehow burn yourself, here's some things that can help. Burns can hurt very badly, and it's hard sometimes to not panic, but you've got to try your best not to. When we panic, especially when in pain, we can sometimes make things worse. We can accidentally hurt ourselves again, or we can accidentally hurt others. When you first get burned, make sure that you stop touching whatever it is that you're touching. The longer you touch what's burning you, the worse it's going to be. Make sure that whatever just burns you isn't in danger of burning you again or someone else. Make your way over to a sink and run cold water over the burn. This will help make the burn feel a lot better and give you time to recollect your thoughts. Once you've felt enough relief from the cold water, pat the area dry very gently and find some burn cream. Like the antibiotic ointment we used before, burn cream can help stop bad germs from making things worse and help take some of the pain away from the burn. Sometimes burns can be bad enough that you need to go to a doctor. Talk to an adult and have them help you call for a doctor if you need to. Nosebleeds aren't fun. They can happen for many reasons, like accidentally getting hit in the nose with a ball, or they can happen for no reason at all. Make sure that the moment you see you're having a bloody nose that you pinch your nose hard. Pinch it almost like you're about to jump into a pool. You don't want any blood to get out of your nose and get on you or anything around you. Once you've pinched your nose, quickly make your way to a sink and get a clean washcloth or paper towel. Put the washcloth over your nose and nostrils and pinch the washcloth on your nose. Don't lean your head back. This won't help the nosebleed and it will honestly make things worse. Take the time to clean yourself off with soap and water, and if the bleeding doesn't stop, make sure you let an adult know so they can take you to a doctor. Bloody noses can sometimes last as little as 1 minute to as much as 15. It's important to stay calm throughout it all. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about when you fall or get hit and there is no scrape or cut. When you first get hit or fall, it can hurt a lot, but here are some tips that you can do to help the pain. Take some deep breaths, and when you take a deep breath, you can take the time to realize that most of the time, the pain isn't as bad as you thought. Take slow deep breaths and try to relax and see if it helps. Another thing you can do is trying to walk it off. Walking things off helps a lot and can distract us from the pain we were feeling. If all of those fail, take some time to get a cold pack or ice and wrap it in a washcloth. Put the cold pack on where it hurts and see if it helps. If the pain is so bad to where you can't do anything but feel bad, try to reach out to an adult to help you. If they need to take you to a doctor, they should be able to assist. Congratulations! You now know how to take care of yourself in certain situations. It's always important to stay calm and to always think clearly. Some of these are scary, but as long as you're brave, you always know how to help yourself. Good luck and stay safe.